Hi friends, Miss Williams here. Today we are reading a book called A River of Words, the story of William Carlos Williams. It's written by Jen Bryant and it's illustrated by Melissa Sweet. Like the other boys in Rutherford, New Jersey, Willie Williams loved to play baseball and to race his friends up and down the street. But when the other boys went inside, Willie stayed outside. Climbing over the fence in his backyard, he wandered alone through the woods and fields. In those days, just beyond town, there were still many wild places for Willie to explore. "My Willie has sharp eyes. He notices everything," his mother told the neighbors, and it was true. As he walked through the high grasses and along the soft dirt paths, Willie watched everything. When he grew tired, he stretched out beside the Passaic River. Gurgle, gurgle, swish, swish, swoosh, gurgle, gurgle. The water went slipping and sliding over the smooth rocks, then poured in a torrent over the falls, then quieted again below. The river's music both excited and soothed Willie. Sometimes as he listened to its perfect tune, he fell asleep. As Willie grew older, there was less time to wander through the woods and fields, or to nap by the river. In high school, Willie had classes and track practice and lots of homework. "Willie is always in a hurry," his mother told the neighbors, and it was true. But when Mr. Abbott read poetry to Willie's English class, Willie did not feel hurried. The gentle sounds and shifting rhythms of the poems were like the music of the river. As the teacher read each line, Willie closed his eyes and let them make pictures in his mind. One night, alone in his room, Willie began to write his own poems. At first, he imitated the famous English writers he had learned about in school. He counted the beats in each line and made the endings rhyme. "The archer is awake, the swan is flying, gold against blue, an arrow is lying." Poetry suited Willie. Every night he looked forward to sitting at his desk and writing a few new lines. But after a while he grew frustrated. He had pictures in his mind that didn't fit exactly into steady rhymes or rhythms. "I have never seen a swan or an archer," Willie thought. "I want to write about ordinary things. Plums, wheelbarrows and weeds, fire engines, children and trees, things I see when I walk down my street or look out my window." So Willie tried writing a new way. Instead of counting the beats or making the end words rhyme, he let each poem find its own special shape on the page. "There is a bird in the poplars. It is the sun. The leaves are little yellow fish swimming in the river." Now when he wrote poems, he felt as free as the Passaic River. As it rushed to the falls, Willie's notebooks filled up one after another. "My boy is a good writer," his mother said, and it was true. Unfortunately, no one paid much money for poetry, and Willie needed to earn a living. Willie's mother had told him stories about her older brother, Carlos, who was a doctor. "When our father died," she told Willie, Carlos's salary provided for our whole family." Willie liked the idea of healing people and of providing for a family, but could he do both and still write poetry? At age 19, Willie went off to study medicine at the university where he met Ezra Pound, Hilda Doolittle, and Charles Demuth. Ezra and H.D. were studying literature while Charlie studied painting. The friends spent many afternoons together discussing books, music, and art. The harder Willie's medical training became, the more he enjoyed the time he spent with them. When he graduated, he returned to Rutherford and hung his sign, "William C. Williams, M.D., Family Medicine." Every morning, Dr. Willie Williams filled his black bag with medicines and instruments and drove off to visit patients in their homes. Every afternoon, he returned to his office where more patients waited. All day, he delivered babies, healed hurts and bruises, set broken bones, and wrote prescriptions. "Dr. Williams is the busiest man in town," said the neighbors, and it was true. But no matter how many babies he delivered, no matter how many sick people he cured, Willie could not stop writing poems. On his prescription pads he scribbled a few lines whenever and wherever he could. In those precious times the rhythm of the river he had rested beside as a child seemed to guide him, like the water that sometimes ran slow, smooth, and steady, and other times came rushing in a hurried flood. Willie's lines flowed across the page. After his long doctor's day, Willie climbed to the attic where he kept a lamp and a desk, filled with letters from his artist friends, and notes he'd made about things he'd heard, seen, or done. As the rest of Rutherford put out its lights, Willie took out his pen and his notes. He sat down and looked at the words, and shaped them into poems. This is a list of all of the wonderful things that William Carlos Williams did. The end. I hope you enjoyed the story, friends, and I hope you enjoyed Reading Across America Week.